So traders, right now, the market is giving us warning signs, and those who are trying to jump in on this move right now, thinking that the bottom's in and the market's going to rally, I think the market's going to have some really, really sad news for you guys out there. And so let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, make sure you join my next webinar. Link in the description. Traders, trading is all about having a trading system, right? Not listening to a market update. Please, you must trade based off rules. Have a rule-based approach, not a thinking-based approach. Because most of the time, what you're thinking is what everyone else is thinking, and what most people are thinking is wrong. All right, so we need to be focusing on a trading approach here. So let's get straight into what I was talking about at the intro of this video. So at the start of this video, I talked about how that the market is rallying through here, and we are likely to get a very, very strong pullback. Now, I know I'm going to get the bumblebees in the comment section to do the ba thing, right? It's okay. It's okay. But look at this here. We're looking at the Dow Jones right now, and yes, the Dow Jones has been getting a very, very, very strong rally, but we have been here before. Let me say that again. We are getting a very strong rally, but we have been here before, and this might be, and it's like this might be the exact same thing as it happened just a few months ago. Let me share with you what I'm showing here. Let me share with you what I'm seeing here. So let's actually bring up this point through here, and let's bring up the weekly chart. Look at this here. This is the weekly chart now we're looking at. Okay, so excuse me. So look at this here. So what do we have here on the weekly chart? We have a move down, a move up, lower high, lower low, strong rally, lower high, lower low, strong rally. Nothing has changed yet. In fact, we've been here before. Now, yes, obviously we know that there can be a chance of this being actually the start of a next big leg up. You know, we could be getting ready for that, okay? But here's the thing. The first thing is that right now, we've been here before. This here right now, this is when we got the very last strong rally, and the same sort of thing. The market dumped on your ass, okay? Then the market, we might be getting ready for, you know, when the FOMC comes out. For some reason, the market's rallying strong on the Dow Jones, that is. So if we are going to be starting an upward trend, this is what we look for, okay? We look for an upward trend. Now, what is an upward trend? If the buyers are definitely going to start to come in here and take this to the stratosphere, to the moon, boys, right? If they do that, right? If they do that, then guess what's going to happen? We are going to start an upward trend, right? The market's not going to just go hockey stick to the upside, straight up, big bubble. No. We're going to start what? We're going to start an upward trend. So what is an upward trend in the markets? An upward trend consists of higher lows and higher highs. No duh, John. Tell me something new. I've heard that 1,000 times. Tell me something new. Well, guess what? It's not the new thing that you need to know. It's what I just shared with you is the most important part. So if this is going to be an upward, the start of the big move, we're probably likely to get a pullback first, then create what? A higher low, and then start to see the movement out. We will get that. We're not just going to keep going up and 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 have no pullbacks. No. Okay, well, let's actually look at the reality for what it is, okay? So we're probably likely to get a pullback in the market. This is the Dow Jones, by the way. This is the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is different to the actual indices there. So this is the Dow Jones. So we can see what's going on through there when it comes to the to the Dow Jones, and we can see what's going on there. So therefore, traders, nothing has changed, and we have been here before. Now, flip it on its head and look at the S&P. The S&P is still very, very, very weak, and we need to be focusing on this. Okay, this is not the bottom right now. Okay, the market's not saying the bottom's in. If your little bumblebee pea brain is saying the bottom is in, you are guessing, you are hoping, and you are not respecting the markets. Let me say that again. What is a bottom in the markets, by the way, guys? What is a bottom, right? Downtrend, downtrend, down. What is a bottom? Oh, that's a bottom, right? This is the bottom here. And then we create a higher low. But we never know whether this is going to be the bottom, right? Until we start to get what? We start to see this upward trend here. No one can pick the bottom here, okay? So if that's the case, where we are right now is what? We are just in a downward trend, and we need to respect the market, okay? We've had a very strong leg down, and look how weak this just been a very, very, nothing like the Dow Jones, right? Very, very, very weak. So guess what's probably coming real soon? You got it, right? You got it. And same for the Nasdaq as well too. Look at this here. Very, very, very weak pullback. Guess what's possibly coming on the good old Nasdaq? That's right. You got it, right? Down, very weak pullback. And we could quite possibly getting ready for something like that. Where we're at now, we're actually in November, right? So here we go, November. Yeah, so we can see that through there when it comes to the market. So we want to be making sure that we stay out of the markets. Now, I want to finish off this video here today, guys, with a bit of a story. And hopefully you don't do what my mate says. I believe the market's about to crash. Property market, right? Property market is going to go through an absolutely destroying process. And I know for you people in Australia, you've had your blanky for quite some time, because we really haven't had that many property crashes. We've had segments of properties, segments of like too many units are built, so we had the crash. Mining boom, so then we had the property crash, right? That sort of segments, but we really haven't had a pulling back period of overall, right? Especially here in Australia. So I was actually speaking to a mate recently, and a couple of years ago, maybe last year, maybe the year before, he bought a piece of property, and he went with the whole herd mentality. Everyone was following he was following what everyone else is doing. Quick, we've got to buy a property. Quick, we've got to buy a property. Quick, we've got to buy a property. Everyone's chasing, right? And so what ended up happening was this. He came to me yesterday, and he said, John, because of my adjustable rates, what's actually happened? By the way, when he actually got access to the interest rate, do you know how much he was paying when he got access to the loan a year or two ago? 1 point something %. Are you kidding me? Now that tells me I'm not sure exactly how he got that, right? But obviously the banks let him in on that because they know that the suckers are going to take that. And guess what he did? Guess what my mate did, or the guy at the gym that I know, right? Guess what he did? He didn't say, what did he say? Well, yeah, we can afford that, right? We can afford that, thinking about the now period. So then guess what's happened? Obviously the adjustable rate mortgage has kicked in. Then now he has to start paying an extra $500 more. Now this is not a multi-million-dollar property, right? This is only about a $600,000 property, right? It's not a massive multi-million-dollar property here. And his payments have gone up another $500, and he's just locked that in. So he's starting to get a water hurt, and he was saying that, listen, if we actually keep going up from here, if the interest rates do keep going up, I'm going to have to be selling my properties because I just can't afford to keep them in there. So for starters, don't do what he did. Don't follow the herd mentality, right? I know 90% of you bumblebees that watch this stuff on YouTube and so on and so forth, you can't help it, right? You wait for the market to go up and then you buy it, and then it pulls back and then you get stopped out and then you blame someone for doing that. Like, no, you never, it's fundamental, right? It's how does the market work? We stair step like this. Right? Oh, John, I know that. Yeah, but where do you buy it? Oh, you buy it up here. Oh, you buy it here. You buy it here. Oh, yeah, you buy it up here. And then the market pulls back, and then you wonder why you got stopped out, right? So you're doing what most people do. You wait for confirmation that it's going up, and then you start to buy it, and then it pulls back against you, and then you come on Johnny Howell's YouTube channel calling me an idiot because he has no idea what he's talking about. So based off that there, so he's doing that, and then now I was trying to say, listen, we're probably likely to be getting a lot more inflation and a lot higher interest rates, especially in the second half of this decade, and he didn't want anything to do with it. He didn't even want to listen to me, right? So he's putting his head in the sand, hoping and praying for the interest rates to not keep going up. Guess what? I could see where he's going to be ending up by the end of this decade, right? Yes, we're going to be going through a recession. Yes, the recession is going to be big. Yes, they're going to be doing another QE. Yes, the QE is probably going to be 4 or 5 times as large as they did back in 2020. And if the QE back in 2020 produced what it produced with inflation and asset prices and the reflation and so on and so forth, then what is going to happen when they do it again in 23 and 24 when the recession is really cranking and then they have to do 4 or 5 times as large of a QE package? What do you think is going to happen to the inflation rate? What's going to happen to interest rates 1, 2, 3 years later after the effect of that QE printing money, right? And I was trying to tell him, maybe I'm wrong about this, but over the next couple of years, if they start to do this, this is what's likely to happen. And he didn't want anything to do with it. He just wanted to put his head in the sand. I can see where this guy's going to end up. This guy's going to end up in a lot of pain, an awful lot of pain, and and by the end of this decade, he's going to be much worse off. But if he just says to me, okay, John, I can see what you're saying. Is there anything that I can keep an eye out for? Maybe I can benefit from what is likely to come if that does happen, right? Because it's the cause-effect relationships. If they did $5 to $7 trillion in 2020 and that produced what we just recently went through with inflation and asset prices, et cetera, then what's 20 to 25 trillion going to do? Like, it's just simple maths, right? It's common sense. But again, I believe we have a lot more downside in the actual markets to go. I believe there's going to be capitulation in the market. And it's going to hurt a lot of people. Now, this guy has just locked in an extra $500 per month. And if the property market does continue to slide down, he's now it's a big customer for him. But guess what? I'm trying to share with him so he can figure out what to do. And he just wants to ignore reality. And you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality, right? Well, you need to see the reality of the situation. And the same thing for you, and the same thing for me. Every day, I need to see the reality of what am I doing for my health and fitness? What am I doing? How am I trading the markets? Right? I need to see the reality for what it is, and then I need to see the truth. At first, it's going to piss you off, something bad. You're going to get pissed off. But then it's going to set you free, and then you're going to start, and then that freeing of that is going to set you onto a new course. Okay? So traders, please, if you like, all I say is that if you're looking for a really good time to buy, wait for the next couple of years, right? I know most people are like, John, next couple of years, right? Or get good at shorting the market, because I believe we're going to have a lot of really good opportunities on the downside. But guys, don't just get into the market because what I just said there, right? Again, learn a strategy. Link in the description, join my webinar, guys, and I'll teach you my strategy. But even if it's not my strategy, have a rule-based entry. Don't just get in because I say something or a title of a video. No, because if you click the button based off a YouTube video, you are a moron. Traders, I want to invite you to my webinar that I'm running today. And on this webinar, I'm going to share with you all the details to my #1 trading system for the last 17 years and how I only trade 1 hour per day. Plus, also going to be learning the 3 secrets that I had to master over the last 17 years to generate a really good income. If you go to johnsfreetraining.com, or there should be a link in the description, click on that. Go over there right now, register. If you are struggling with the trading right now, I promise you this is going to completely game change, because you're going to understand why you are going backwards and why you're losing money. And then I'm going to teach you exactly what the system I use that gets me a really high % win-loss ratio. So this is what I want you to do right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go over there, register for my webinar right now today, because you're going to absolutely love it. Or there should be a link in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on the webinar. So go to that right now, and I look forward to seeing you on my next webinar. Go to that right now. Go to johnsfreetraining.com. Go to that right now.